Hello. Today I want to speak about what narcissism is. Narcissism is seen as a dirty word. People don't like this word being thrown around. It's seen as an insult. But I'm going to invite you to consider this. Narcissism is simply a describing word. In the same way you might say, oh, somebody is being mean, or somebody is angry, or somebody is sad. It's a way that when you use that word, you get an understanding of what you might be talking about. In the same way, I want you to see narcissism as a descriptive word. And what is narcissism? I'll clarify a little bit more later, but it's essentially when you notice people having traits where they have an inflated sense of their own importance, or they have a deep need for excessive admiration and attention, or they have troubled relationships around them, or they will have a lack of empathy for others. So these are some of the traits. In the DSM-5 criteria, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, narcissistic personality disorder is a distinct disorder. It is regarded as a personality trait or a personality type, which is almost deviant to what would the norm be. Whilst I don't like to subscribe to people as being ill, it's sometimes helpful to just see what are the kinds of characteristics you're looking at when people are presenting with this disorder. Here are the things to look out for. Now remember, people don't have to have all of them, but it's just a sense of this is what you might see in somebody who has narcissistic personality disorder. Firstly, they will have a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, making themselves appear impressive in whatever way. Or they will have a need of attention and admiration. They will have fantasies about power, success, beauty, or they will have an idealized sense of love, where they want to be that special person. They will have a sense of entitlement, where the same rules that apply to you do not apply to them. I'm entitled to this, and they have this sense, and you think, what? But they have that sense of entitlement, like they're somewhat special and that the rules don't apply to them. They will have a belief that they're special, unique, or have a higher status than you. For example, either be it intelligence or money or power or beauty, or sometimes even victimhood, where they will see themselves as the biggest victim or the bigger victim than anyone around them. One thing that will permeate with all people with narcissistic personality disorders is that they will have a lack of empathy for others. They will have a tendency to exploit and control others. Usually, but not always, goes hand in hand with arrogant behavior. Yes, we've seen this as a disorder, but does this mean that this disorder presents itself all the time in my clinic? Absolutely not. Narcissistic personality disorder is a disorder that is well disguised, and it rarely presents in therapy because the people who manifest with these personality types rarely have their social and work lives so demolished that they feel like they cannot cope and that they need help. Now, of course, from time to time they will come, but the moment it has been fixed or they've been helped, they go back in the real world exhibiting their traits. With narcissistic personality disorders, they tend to do more damage to the people around them than they do to themselves. It doesn't mean that they're not hurting. It's just that the damage and the chaos and the havoc that they create around them is far greater most of the time. Now, I've spoken about narcissistic personality disorder, but earlier on in the last video, I said, people don't have to have that diagnosis for you to see that trait in them. Narcissism is when you see that trait or these traits in people. They don't have to have all the traits, but even one or two of these traits can be really hurtful and harmful if it manifests in a way that is directed at you in a negative way. So what happens when you're faced with narcissism? What can ensue is what we call narcissistic abuse. What is narcissistic abuse? It's when people with those traits, with the narcissistic traits, are going to direct their actions, their words, their language towards you in a manipulative way with an aim to damage, alter, or otherwise control your behavior with the intention of serving their own needs. And very importantly, with no regard for you as a person. So that is what can happen with narcissistic abuse. It can leave people experiencing trauma symptoms. It can leave people experiencing post-traumatic stress. It can leave people experiencing a complex type of post-traumatic stress as well. And hopefully, as we go along, I'll be demystifying and just pinpointing some of these things, such that if you find that you have been subjected to some of this and you find yourself experiencing some of these symptoms, then you can go and seek help and support, because it is out there. Now, people might say to me, and when people come to me, they say, yes, but am I a narcissist? But you've said that these are all the things that people are narcissists. This is what a narcissist is. But the person I think of, makes me feel horrible, but they don't fit X, Y, Z criteria, or they don't fit the ABC one that you've just said. In order to answer that, I'm going to invite you to think about it this way. There are many different types and ways in which narcissism or narcissistic traits can manifest. You have got the covert narcissists, you've got the malignant narcissists, you've got the somatic narcissists, you've got the communal narcissists, you've got the grandiose narcissists. And you think, oh gosh, all these terms, it's too much. But actually, when you look at it, and certainly in the coming weeks, I'll be talking about each one of these separately, so you can understand what are the behaviors to look out for in people that will tell you that it's possible that these traits are there and this is how it's manifesting. It's a bit like the example I can give you, rather, is, for example, if you fancy pizza and you're going to an Italian restaurant, when you sit down, you don't say, I want pizza. You've got a whole menu of different types of pizzas. So it's not just, I've got narcissism, or I see narcissism in somebody. When you start to observe, there are many different types, there are many different ways, there are many different flavors in a sense. And each pizza that you order will taste different, will have a different sense of experience for you. In the same way, narcissists will have different flavors in a sense. They come in different formats. And I've mentioned the ones that I did. We will go through each one of them separately as we go along. The thing to remember is that these narcissists' behaviors, in a sense, are not exclusive. When people say, oh, this person is a somatic narcissist, or this person is a malignant narcissist, or this person is a communal narcissist, it doesn't mean that that is all who they are. Even narcissistic people, or people with narcissistic traits, which is a far better way of describing it, have many other qualities. It's not just that. Narcissists tend to be like chameleons. They are able to change and take the different forms, the different flavors of behaviors, of narcissistic behavior traits that suit their needs at the time that they find themselves in those situations. So remember, don't get stuck up on, oh, but the person I know is not an overt narcissist or covert narcissist. Sometimes narcissists don't have the skills to be all of those, so they will go into 2 or 3. The key thing here is to start to just understand these terms, to see if there are people in your life that might be having and presenting those traits, and more importantly, if it's affecting your well-being and your sense of self in a negative manner. And that is where it becomes dangerous, and that is where you want to give importance to that and just pay attention to it a little bit more sharply. So the aim of our channel is to demystify some of these terms, to make it so that you understand the daily sort of everyday psychology terms that are thrown around. All the terms I use are not going to be the ones that I've found in clinical manuals. I will also pick out on the terms that are used in popular psychology so that you understand what people are speaking about when they talk about all of these terms. I would like to invite you to email to us any questions you have. If you feel that there is a particular area of narcissism or narcissistic abuse that you want to cover, then please email us on info@parmi.co.uk, and you can access these emails and the contact information through our website. And I will endeavor to try and answer your questions. If I don't know the answer, then I will go away, do my research, speak to my colleagues, whoever I need to do, so that I can come and I will try my best to answer your questions. Thank you again for joining us. And I look forward to meeting you next week, where we start to separate out some of these narcissistic traits and what is a communal narcissist, what is a malignant narcissist, what's a covert narcissist, and what do you have to look out for. So I look forward to that. If these videos resonate with you and you'd like to not miss out on some of the key videos that we will be posting, please like, share, subscribe, and be part of our community so that you can be up to date with all the videos that are going to be showing. Thank you so much for your support, and I look forward to sharing with you some more videos next week.